Look at this. This is magical.
We create content like we create babies.
Oh, snap. 1, 2, 3, 4, go.
When the kids are
You are getting more perverted the longer
I'm
we've been
not
married.
perverted. That was
when
not
the
perverted.
kids go to sleep, dreams and memories. When the kids go to sleep.
Is that a bad, like, on me? Because, like, you are more willing to say a little, like, things that are like, oh, really?
Oh, really? Maybe I'm just saying what I think now.
Yeah, that's
Maybe I
true.
used to think it. I just wouldn't say it. Now I'm just like, eh.
You're slipping, babe. You're slipping. Welcome to the podcast, episode 108 of When the
Welcome
Kids Go
back.
to Sleep. We are right here at Maker Studios in Los Angeles,
Yes, we are.
California.
And if this is your first podcast ever, boy, are you in for a treat.
Oh, by golly jeepers. I like when you do that accent.
Boy. What?
Oh, boy, you in for a special treat here today. We're going to be talking about stuff. So, tickle.
Rah, rah.
If you haven't, I wanted to talk about this real quick at the top of the hour. Act like this is like a
top of the
real
hour.
radio show. There is a new YouTube channel that Maker Studios is partnering up with called Picture Show. It's a
Picture
partnership
Show.
between Maker Studios and the Tribeca Film Festival. And we're creating content together. Basically, Tribeca is like helping us, collaborate with like some mainstream, I don't know what you want to call them, like just directors that are more like considered like, old media, and like getting us teamed up with actors. I got to do a thing with Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Am I supposed to say that? Crap.
I don't know.
Shoot.
Cut that out.
Don't cut that out. Just leave it in. I like to get in trouble about things. But that'll give you incentive to go check this out.
Ow! Why did you just hit me?
Because I hate your guts.
That's
Ow!
it. You don't get away with that.
She has
in
a
my
pointy
house.
little fist.
I do.
When she hits, it's
And
like...
it's the ring, too. The ring just kind of sticks out just enough to be like my brass knuckle here.
Brass
Ready?
knuckle.
Don't mess.
But honestly, you guys should go check out Kasim Gariba. My good friend Kasim G has a short, and it's like a 13-minute
on the picture show.
movie on Picture. It's not The Picture Show. It's just Picture Show.
Picture show.
YouTube.com/Picture Show.
Show.
And it's good. Kasim does some dramatic acting where he's like
What?
emotional.
Like, for real?
And there's like snot coming out of his
Oh,
face.
really?
Like,
We get to see Kasim's snot.
that's the first reason
real.
you should check it out. But it is. It's like a real acting. It's not. There's no jokes.
It's
just
not like a skit.
serious. Yeah, I mean, it is a. I mean, I don't know how you want to term a skit, but yeah, it's not a skit.
I know. I feel like skits to me are like funny, but I
Yeah.
guess you can have like dramatic shorts or skits.
I've
or
always
whatever.
been so bad on like what things are properly taught. I remember when we
Yeah, I
first
don't know either.
moved out to LA, and I would call a movie a show.
We're from Idaho.
Like somebody's saying, "Have you seen Braveheart?" I'm like, "Oh, I love that show." I'd be like, "It's not a show." I'm like, whatever. It's a good. It's a good.
It's a
thingy.
movie.
Yeah. But go check it out right now. YouTube.com/Picture Show. Hi, I'm Ron's been on some of them. Really, they're really good. You got to check out Kasim's. And he was really like self-conscious about it.
Are
because
you on one?
Mine's coming up in a couple weeks. I'm a chicken. Alpha Cat. They have this really good one called Remix the Movies, where they like do movies. They did a Jurassic Park parody where like the two kids are in the kitchen and they have this guy and a dinosaur. It's really funny.
Oh, really?
Check it out. So I was in New York City for about a week at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Didn't you host on the red carpet or something?
Blake, I actually have a card I want to get to you that I want you to edit for me. Yeah, I did. I got to interview on the red carpet. I got to interview a bunch of celebrities, and I met Bobby D.
Robert De Niro.
I went to this luncheon. This is how crazy. It's like, we didn't plan for all this crazy stuff to happen, but I'm at this luncheon with Eva Longoria, Whoopi Goldberg, Robert De Niro, the Allstate guy.
He's so cool.
The mayhem dude from Allstate.
He's funny.
I'm sat right next to him at this dinner. Robert De Niro's like one table over. I like gave like an eyebrow high to Whoopi Goldberg. I was walking by and we made this like weird eye contact, and I got like this to her, and she like smiled and like did a head nod. And then the other night, she's
You
in the
did
movie
this to
The
her?
Color Purple. I did this. I'm like, hey Whoopi.
Hey.
What if I
I know
left
ya.
you for Whoopi Goldberg?
That would be strange. But hey,
Would you even be offended?
stranger things have happened.
Honey, I'm in love with Whoopi
Well,
Goldberg.
her nose,
I'm
I think,
leaving
is
you.
bigger than mine. So
Oh,
you
get
might have
over
a
the
problem.
nose thing. Eva
You said
Longoria,
I have a
on
big
the other
nose.
hand, she had a nice
Nose?
round
Nose?
head nose.
You are going to get it.
Snap, snap, snap. And then Jane Rosenthal, who is the co-founder of the Tribeca Film Festival, and she's like producer of big time movies like Meet the Fockers and all kinds of stuff. Got to meet her, and it was just crazy, man. It was really cool, and I really enjoyed my
And
time.
people were like, "Why didn't you get any footage, Shay?"
I did. Well, I didn't want to be the YouTuber at that
Yeah.
party. Like, hey, Robert De Niro, look at my
Yeah.
flip cam with hearts all over it. It's my daughter, Princess Tarts. I loved you in Taxi. But, you know, that was the one thing I did say to Robert De Niro because Lisa Nova was there with me. And her dad, if you've ever seen Taxi, the end scene is very brutal. He, like, killed all these people. The very end scene of Taxi, a cop comes in, and Robert De Niro's character is sitting on this couch, and he's been all shut up, and he goes like this. He goes, when he's like shooting himself in the head, and this cop comes in, and that's Lisa Nova's dad.
How could he shoot himself in the head multiple times?
Well, his gun was gone, so
Oh.
he just had his fingers, and it was just. I wonder if the director thought it was just perfect because he had blood all over his arm, and every time he goes, like a drip of blood drops off of his fingers. I just watched this on YouTube the other night, and then this cop comes in and like puts a halt to all this like manslaughter that's going on, and it's Lisa Nova's dad. So when we met Robert De Niro, Jane Rosenthal introduced us to him, and it's like, oh hi, Robert De Niro, I'm Shay Carl, and Lisa shook his hand, and there's this like weird moment. It's like, what do you say now, you know? So I'm like, actually, I have to tell you this because Lisa's too embarrassed to, but her dad is the cop in the last scene of Taxi that comes in and points the gun at you. And she just grew up telling everybody that. She always thought that was the coolest story as a kid, to tell everybody that her dad was the cop that came in on the last scene of Taxi with Robert De Niro. And he was like, oh, cool. And he thought that was cool. And he asked if her dad was like an actor or if he was a real policeman. And we had a fun little conversation about that. And that's what I talked to Robert De Niro about.
Well, there you go. You do have a connection
And
with
then I
Robert
said,
De
get back
Niro.
to your Caesar salad, Bobby D. I'll be over here having my calamari. We didn't have calamari. I just
You
made
didn't
that
have
up.
calamari?
I had, what I had.
I want some calamari now.
They had these. Oh, I know. Calamari is my favorite. That's our go-to appetizer when we go out to.
It's really
out to
good.
dinner.
But you got to have cocktail sauce.
Will
None of this
Smith
marinara
says, "Read
crap.
my email, Shay." Okay, Will Smith.
Will Smith?
Do you want me to
My
be in a
lucky
new
stars.
movie?
Okay. So welcome to the podcast.
Lego Lover says, "Shay, tomorrow's my birthday. Can you wish me happy birthday on the podcast? Happy birthday,
Happy
Lego
birthday.
Lover."
It's also
Cecily Jenkins' birthday tomorrow.
Cecily.
You guys, you know Cecily, our good friend, and she's watching Rock Hard for us right now. And like every Monday, we do these podcasts.
Yes.
Tomorrow is her birthday. Go wish her happy birthday.
Go wish her a happy birthday.
I'd say she's one of our like lifelong friends,
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't you?
One of our greatest. Yes.
We've known her for 4 years, 3
Yes,
years.
We've trusted her multiple times with our children, with our
We,
babies.
we have to like you if we let you watch our kids.
Yeah.
We have to trust you quite a
We have
bit.
to like you a lot
Yeah.
because kids are kind of
And
important.
she hasn't
to us.
killed one of our kids yet, so we're
Not
going to
yet.
keep letting her watch them.
Nope.
That was a tough thing when we first moved out here to LA because it's like we wanted to go out on dates and stuff. It's like we don't know anybody here. How do we trust anybody to watch our kids?
Yeah, that was
and we've gotten
hard.
so many people like on YouTube, like, I'll watch your kids for you. It's like, I don't think so. and
Like,
I'm
never know.
sure there are hundreds of people that would be great and would be amazing with our kids. But still, it's like taking that leap of like, we're going to let somebody who watches our YouTube videos watch our kids. That's not going to happen.
I mean, that's the only connection we have, you know. It's not
Right.
like Cecily doesn't watch her YouTube
But you know,
videos.
like that whole paradigm of like, oh, you like your friends are internet friends, like that's all faded. Those lines have so faded. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I think our only friends now are people we've met on the internet. Think
Mine
about
is
it.
like church and then school.
Church and school, but
like the kids'
but like
school.
our longtime friends. Here's the other weird thing. I have been a full-time YouTuber. Being on YouTube as a job is the longest job I've ever had. And I'm a 33-year-old man.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy to think?
Well, I don't think it's crazy.
It is a little bit weird.
I don't feel like that's
It's a little
crazy.
bit weird. It's not weird? Well,
I feel
'cause
like
you've
when
been
you're
doing it with
when
me for
you're
the last
young,
5
your
years.
jobs. Maybe
And
I
you've
just
been
have a
on
weird
YouTube.
sense of what jobs should be.
But I don't know. Anybody ever knows my story. I've done a lot of jobs. But that I always feel that that's really crazy, that I've been a full-time YouTuber longer than any of my other jobs.
Well, it's because it's a career. It's not a job.
That's right. It's a career. No one cares about your kids, says Josh Brandt.
No one cares about your kids.
Thanks, Josh.
You should go just shoot yourself.
We were talking about that in
Welcome,
yesterday's
haters.
One Take Sunday about how the world is a meaner place in the sense that people can now
They can say whatever the heck they want.
really mean things because they're hidden behind this cloak of anonymity. Where
It's kind of entertaining.
a generation, no, it's not. Don't encourage them.
Sometimes it makes me laugh because it's
When there's-
so ridiculous.
When there's funny hater comments, you have to laugh. There's sometimes it's like, oh, that's a pretty good one. Like, nobody cares about your stupid kids. Like, that's pretty funny because everybody knows it's the opposite. Nobody cares about us and they only care about our kids. But
That's true.
So we were talking about this, and whenever I talk about the comments being bad, that's the day when the comments get really bad. Like somebody was commenting, I saw, I hope that your baby dies.
Yeah.
I hope that baby is.
To me, it's just like, wow.
Well, that's the
You
thing.
are
It's
so
like
sad.
I feel
What is
bad
wrong
for those
with you?
people because you got to think, what kind of situation are they in?
Or
where
they're just trying to be, they're like
They just
some
wanna get
kid that just
attention.
wants to be like, this'll get him.
this will get their
This'll
attention.
really get 'em.
If I hope that their newborn baby
Yeah.
dies, then they'll
That'll
pay
get 'em.
attention to me. Well, I do. I always just feel bad. Anyways, what we were talking about is a generation ago, if people thought mean things about other people, they usually just kept them in their minds because they would never go up. And this was rare. I mean, you'd have some people that go up and be like, you're fat and ugly and gay and stupid.
Yeah.
But
And I hope you die.
that never happened. But now there's like one step closer where people can type those
People
things
can do that.
on the internet.
Yes.
And it's a slippery slope because I am
Much
convinced
easier to type things.
your thoughts become your actions and your actions are your character and that becomes who you are. So even if you think, oh, it's
but
harmless.
Go ahead.
I think it's harmless to type these mean things on the computer. You will become an angry, hateful person inside if that's all you do is you type these hateful comments on YouTube. I think people think that it'll affect us some way, like it'll drag us down a notch.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're professional YouTubers.
We're
We've been doing this. We've read you literally could not say anything to us on YouTube and
That
a
would
YouTube
be
comment
shocking.
that we'd be like, oh my heck, I couldn't believe you'd say
We've
that.
seen it all.
We have seen any horrible, disgusting, gross, mean, angry thing that you could possibly conceive in your mind and type on your
About
little keyboard.
us or our kids.
We've seen it.
We've seen it.
We've done it. We've been there.
We haven't done it, but we've been
Well,
there.
right. And that's what that's where I start to feel bad for those people.
I think it's with the typing in general, though. Don't you feel like it's easier to let your emotions out through words? That's why we keep journals. Like,
Yeah.
I think you haters just need to get yourself a journal.
There you go.
Express your feelings to a piece of paper instead of the computer just yet.
This is
but
an
have you
interesting
noticed, like, in
comment.
text messages, like, it's easier for you to say something sometimes in a text than it is to
Right.
call somebody up and be like, hey, you know what?
Well, you can take time to like think about the words and structure them properly. Sophia 0626 said people ignore the social implications of social media interactions. What I think is very true.
Yes.
And I think people will be like, "Oh, it's just the internet." But you got to be careful because things that are said on the internet, like they have real life implications, and
It's almost even worse because
hurt
it's
us as a society.
It's in stone. You can't erase it now.
just like they said on the movie The Social Network, the internet's not in pencil, it's in pen.
It's in pen.
Which makes me regret like a lot of like pictures I've tweeted of myself. I have this one picture. Remember that picture I tweeted to the family the other day of me on Rocktard's little tricycle? I want to tweet that so
yeah.
bad. I took this picture of me, like my family. We get in these weird family texts where we all
I
start.
love them.
Do you guys want to see my brother's testicles?
I wish that all of my family had text message because I would like to do that with my family. Just like family texts. Because then
It'll be like
minus Shay's inappropriate family sometimes. But it's mostly him and Casey.
it'll be
The
me.
inappropriate.
It'll be my mom, my dad, me, Casey, Carly, Logan, Colette, Kaylee, and now Steve has been included in these family texts. There'll be like 8 or 9 of us on these family texts, and we'll just be texting like
all
a
of a
group text.
sudden-
And all of a sudden, Casey will text a picture of his balls to everybody, to my
To
parents,
everybody.
like everybody
Not
sees
just
these.
the guys or Shay. To everybody.
So I gotta tell this story.
And I can just see him doing it
not
too.
like his
I
full-on
can see him
balls.
laughing to himself while he does it. Because it's like, oh, a picture of Zeke. Oh, a picture of Molly. Carly's new puppy. And Casey.
So what he did is he took one of his testicles and he pulled it outside of his shorts.
He's gonna be so mad that you told everybody.
One of his balls were like on the outside of his shorts, and he tweeted, he's like, "Oh, I got bit by a spider."
Right?
He said, "I got bit by a spider yesterday." So it like looks like it's like swollen up. And then Colette said, "Oh, it must have been a really small spider."
I had to say something.
And I said to her, I said, "Honey," because I was in New York at the time, and I hate tell Colette, I said, "Honey, you are officially a butler. You are officially a member of the family." And Casey,
you can't beat him, join him.
How did we start this conversation? Oh, so along those same lines, the other day we were doing these, and I thought it'd be funny to get on Rock-Tart's little tricycle, and I had some underwear on, but I pulled the legs up,
so it
looks like I'm butt naked on this tricycle, like with my legs up in the air, this tiny tricycle, and I text it to my whole family, and then they're using that as blackmail. They're like, my mom said, "Don't forget, I still have this picture." Like she's threatening to post it on Facebook or something. But I
can't put things out on.
I want to take the ammunition from
world.
her and just tweet it. But then I think like, what if I like want to be a president in 20 years from now or something?
You don't want to be the president. Come
like,
on.
President Butler. Remember when you posted this picture on Twitter? I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have posted that picture. Oh,
maybe if you became like a bishop or something, that could come back to get you.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that too. Like if I'm going to be like a leader in our church one day, people are like, what about this picture of your balls you tweeted once? It's like we just like live open.
It's very real.
That's another thing too about social media nowadays is a lot of people complain about like, well, what about privacy? And I just feel like just be who you are and be that person. And if you have like something to hide, that's the only reason you need privacy. Like we have privacy where it's like we shut the doors and we can like be intimate and like have conversations. Like we don't always have to have the cameras on. But I feel like with social media and how everybody has a camera in their pocket, you can't hide anymore. It's like the life you live is a life you live.
It's like you can't be a different person online than you are in person because eventually those two worlds are going to collide somehow, you know? That's what I want to teach our kids. Yeah. You got to be who you are and be proud of who you are online or in real life.
And that's, I think we do a pretty good job of, because I mean we can get rowdy and inappropriate sometimes, but it's not like we don't try to hide that from our kids. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
we don't.
We're the same. I mean, there's definitely certain topics that we kind of like don't talk about on purpose in front of our kids. Like they were asking about sex the other night.
Yeah.
And there's certain things where it's like we'll tell you as much as we think you're prepared to hear.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's sometimes there are things that are a little too heavy for a 7-year-old to know. You know what I mean? So we'll give you as much information as we think as a parent that you're prepared to receive. But, you know.
Because with great knowledge comes great resposability. That's what I tell them. It's like the Spider-Man concept.
And it's not like we're trying to hide anything from our kids. Because I feel like I want to be so open and honest with my kids. And I will be. But it's just like you got to wait until they're a little bit older and a little bit more mature and prepared.
Age appropriate.
Right.
You know, like they definitely know what they need to know, I guess. I don't know. It's not like we hide anything. We're not one of those parents. It's like, you can't come out of your room at night because there's a boogie monster out here. So you got to stay in bed. You know, it's like, we don't tell them lies to like get them to do things.
This is live, Simply Tiffany. We are live right now. And then somebody said, Shay, what about the video where your butt is in the mirror? That is true.
That
Kayla.
was totally an accident,
by
the way.
3.5. That was 4 years.
Hilarious.
That was over 4 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
That was okay. This is how anxious I was to make YouTube videos back in the days.
Shay doesn't. He thinks of a concept and he's like, "Oh, I
gotta make that video right now."
He's getting ready to get in the shower. He's like, oh, "Crap, I don't have any clothes on." So he throws on his coat, and he figures he's gonna be filming this top part, so he didn't need to put pants on, right? But little did he think there's a mirror behind him.
There's a mirror in the background.
Yeah.
So I had this idea, and I'm about to get in the shower, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this video, and so I'm like, oh, I can't get in the shower right now, and so I throw this coat on. So then I'm going to edit it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, Colette, come in here. I go watch this video, and she's like, what? I'm like, go look in the mirror, and she looks in the background. If you've seen that video, you see my butt, crack.
But the funny thing about Shay is, I would totally be like, crap, scrap it, we gotta redo it.
Nope.
Not Shay. He's like, no, that was golden what I said. I don't care. It's going up.
I just liked what I said, and I didn't want to redo it. I hate redo.
He does not redo things.
Especially when it's like, you know, you're like, I just created it. Go. Da, 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 da. That's why I'm a bad actor, I feel like. Because it's like, I'm like, I did it. What do you mean do it again? Like, that was it.
It's like me, I'm like, okay, 7 takes later, it's exactly the way I want it. You know what I mean?
But I did. I figured that I would get flagged or get in trouble. So I did cut a lot of it out. But there is some moments where I didn't want to cut out where you do see my butt. So I've never ever. This is like this mysterious video that exists somewhere in one of my 2,000 uploads. If you can find it, you're welcome.
There you go. There's Shay's bum.
I need to see that video, says Jillian Young. Jillian, you pervert!
That's hilarious.
You pervert!
It is definitely one of the first videos. So
Yeah, you can't be ashamed about your body. I mean, we teach our
Shay
kids.
is not ashamed.
We teach our kids that your body is precious, that you should protect it because it's precious, but like you shouldn't be ashamed of it, but you shouldn't also just flaunt it.
Or
Only
put
to your
it on the
family.
internet.
Only in a text message to your family. All your family. I mean, your mom and dad, they've seen all those things anyways already. Greetings
Right.
from Iceland.
So is Kaylee
What about Kaylee?
and Steve.
There's 1,600 people right now listening to us talk about my brother's testicles.
Yep. Sorry, Casey. Sorry about that.
He's in the mountains of Utah somewhere hunting right now. What else? What else should we talk about? This is fun. I miss doing the podcast.
I know, it's a lot of fun.
a lot of
Wait,
fun.
what's the question?
Question: do you think
think
Carly will marry her boyfriend?
BF?
We hope so.
He's a really great guy. We really like him.
That's another tough thing about like social media and being so like public on YouTube. Like Carly is dating this new guy and we like him. We really like him. His name's Steven. Should we talk about all this? His name's Steven. They met a couple months ago and the dude is jacked. He was on the
That's why he likes
front
him.
cover of what was the magazine? Muscle and Fitness?
Muscle Mag or something.
I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. He's on the front. His name's Stephen Cook.
Cook.
Look him up. Front cover of Muscle and Fitness. This dude is buff. But the thing about him
But
is
he's a really good guy.
if you look at him, you immediately judge him because it's like the way he looks is like you have this stereotype picked out in your mind, like, oh, he's obviously like you know, you classify him as a just buff douchebag kind of guy. But he's not. He's like this sincere, genuine guy, and he's like soft spoken and just he's a really great guy.
Yeah, and we really, we just want Carly to be happy. And if it doesn't work out with them, then, that's the way life goes. But I think that's really been hard for Carly, too, because she is in that stage of her life where she's dating. She's, dating seriously and, sometimes it doesn't work out. And so, like, there's the internet right there to tell her, oh, my gosh, now you're with a different guy. Oh, my gosh,
Right,
blah, blah, blah. Like,
right.
they're judging her about everything. But it's like, we know that behind the scenes, we know what's going on. So we're a lot more like, we know what's going on and you don't. So I feel bad for Carly that she's had to sort of live that part of her life online, trying to figure out, because it's so hard to figure out who you want to be with for the rest of your life.
You guys know. Think about it. Think about going through relationships. It's hard. It's hard to find
and
that
it doesn't
person.
always turn out the way you think it will, and
Right.
people aren't always the way that they seem. And
so then try to do that in front of 100,000 people that are all like making these snap judgments about you, and like it just adds that level of difficulty. That's one thing that and I've said this before, that the YouTube comments, talking about hater comments and people's cynicism on YouTube, it's changed me as a person because it's made me feel like I don't ever want to judge anybody ever again.
it's a lot easier to look at somebody and what they're doing and be like, you know what, we don't know what's going on in their life.
It appears
We don't know why they're doing
like
that.
this person is like this just because I'm seeing the surface image of them, but I have no idea what they, cry about, what they think about when they're having breakfast, like what they go through on a day-to-day basis. So I just can tell, that anytime I hear about somebody in the news, like Reese Witherspoon, for instance, it's like, I don't know what she was going through that day. People are probably like, oh, she's such a snotty little Hollywood brat. I can't believe she would be like, don't you know who I am? But it's like, maybe she had a really stressful day. It's like, I just try not to like, do these quick snap judgments of people when you hear this one thing that they did. You know what I'm saying? And I think you do that because you in turn hope that people won't do that about you. Because I genuinely believe that everybody has sincere desires. Like, for a perfect example is like during the presidential election, you got Obama and Romney, and it seems like both parties are saying such mean things. Like Obama is this socialist Muslim who wants to like kill our country. I'm like, I don't believe that. I believe Obama is a genuinely nice guy who wants the best for America. Like he wants America to succeed and flourish. But it's like all these people, they start like, oh, Romney, he's just this rich people and he hates poor people and he wants all the poor people to just die. And it's like, he does not. He's been a successful
like really
guy
harsh
and
judgments.
he's rich. But that doesn't mean he hates poor people. You know what I mean? And so like this cynicism comes in where it's like people think the worst and they think that other people's motives are like the worst.
Completely
it's like,
evil.
I don't think that. I feel like people genuinely want to do good, and sometimes people are selfish. And I think a lot of times they don't realize that. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to give people the benefit of the doubt and realize that different people are on different paths of the road. You know, they're farther along than some people. You know what I mean? So you just feel like you got to forgive people and give people a chance. And I, you know, going to like scripture and religious stuff, like that's how you'll be judged. You'll be judged according to how you judged other people. You know what I mean? I love the scripture about, you know, don't try to get the mote out of the beam out of your brother's eye when you have a mote in your own eye. Which like it's like saying like, dude, you have this beam in your eye, like a telephone pole is in your eye. Like, let me get that out. No, wait.
I'm like, that. What?
Sorry.
Maybe we should look it up.
No, I know what it is. A mote is like this little tiny speck, like a little thing of like, if I saw Colette had this little speck in her eye, I'm like, oh, you have this thing in your eye. But at the same time as I'm telling her she has this little thing in her eye, I have a telephone pole sticking out of my eye. It's like I shouldn't be like, you have this thing in your eye when I have a giant log sticking out of my face.
Judging other people for their things when you have a lot of faults yourself.
Scripture. Right.
Basically.
And it's easier to say that than do it because it, you know, it's funny how human nature, like, gossip. People love to gossip. People love to like, oh, did you hear about so and so?
Because it's easier to feel better about yourself when you know that other people are doing bad.
Why is that? Have you seen the musical?
It's just human nature, I think.
What would I do as president? I'd get us out of debt. I'd try to. Here's what I've said, and I don't know anything about politics.
Eat a lot of Golden Graham s'mores because he would be super stressed out.
You think I would be?
I would be. Heck, please don't be the president.
Talk about Logan's tattoos. Here's what I would do. And I don't know about geopolitics or how to run a country, but I would say I would run the country like a family. I would say, listen, family, we're in a huge... That's the thing that worries me the most about our country is how much debt we're in. 16 trillion. It's almost $17 trillion at this point.
Getting worse.
I follow the national debt on Twitter, and they tweet the national debt. Every day it goes up like a couple $100 million or $1 billion.
I would not follow it.
I would say, as president, we have to cut programs across the board. It doesn't matter what your program is, whether it's NASA, whether it's, you know, food stamps. I don't care what it is. Everybody's getting cut 17%. Because that's the fight that people get into is like, well, you can't cut this program. You can't cut this program. That's like, we need to spend less than we're bringing in. And that's like Dave Ramsey always says, if you want to get out of a hole, you have to throw away the shovel. And I would just cut all programs across the board and say, I'm sorry, it sucks. We're going to have to make some cutbacks, but we have to get out of debt because it's more detrimental for our country to get in this kind of debt than it is for cutting these programs. I don't know. That's the only thing I would do. And then I would say all the chicks have to like me because I'm president. Somebody asked,
chicks, you gotta like me.
How do we feel about Logan's tattoo? I knew I'd get some guff about this because in a vlog 2 days ago, I said that Logan's tattoo was stupid and anybody who got a tattoo was stupid. And as soon as I said that, I thought, oh, here come the comments.
That's just personal views.
I mean, if you want a tattoo, get a tattoo. It's so permanent. I just
think
feel
that
like
they're a good idea, but I'm not gonna tell other people. Like,
Kasim said that. It's like, I've never liked anything enough to get it on my body forever. Unless it's like maybe a portrait of your dead mom or something, like I can understand. But, you know, imagine you getting a tattoo.
Even that's kind of weird. That's weird.
You think it's
a portrait of your dead mom?
Yeah, there's people that have like their mom has died, so they have like a picture of her face on their arm to remind them. It's like,
but then it's there like,
don't you have any pictures you can look at? I don't know. Everybody has. I mean, like, listen, we don't want to judge because we just got on this big thing about judging people. See, that's the thing. Is like, that's
just my personal view. Is I wouldn't want anything on my body that because I change my mind too quickly. That's why I shop at Forever 21 because it's cheap and I can change my mind a lot.
I would have got a DuckTales tattoo when I was 12.
No, right?
And as a 33-year-old man, I would not want a DuckTales tattoo on my body. So, like, you have to ask yourself that question, like.
Are you prepared to live with this for the rest of your life?
Like that kid. There's a kid who, everyday vlogger, Greg, he got a tattoo of me and him.
And that's the only reason Shay was like, oh, don't do that.
Don't do that, man.
You know,
don't.
It's him on somebody
and it's
he's
fat
not going
me
to
too.
want forever.
He got it covered up. Did you know that?
Yeah,
he got it totally covered up. So if you're going to get a tattoo, like, just think about it, man. Because, like, I guess you can get it removed, but it's going to hurt because they have to use lasers.
And
they will shoot a laser at your body to get this tattoo off. So unless you want lasers shot at yourself, make sure you like whatever you're going to put on your body forever. Because that's why I think they're stupid. It's just like, it's a major decision. And it's like, you could just carry a drawing around in your pocket. You know, you have these devices called phones. Do a screen cap of this image and you will always have it with you. You can look at it. It doesn't have to be on your body. I told Logan he's stupid. I'm like, dude, why did you do that? The way he explained it, I feel like the tattoo artist peer pressured him into it.
Really?
He said,
well, he walked in there.
he's 18, he's growing up, he wants to feel like he's in charge of his own life, and mom and dad aren't going to tell me what to do. I'm my own man. I'm a grown man now. So he goes into this tattoo shop thinking he's being rebellious and thinking he's like a man of the world now, and he's going to check out some tattoos. And this literally word for word what he said to me. He's like, I walked in, I was just looking at it, and before I knew it, I was getting this tattoo. I was like, dude, this dude is trying to sell tattoos. The guy that's doing the tattoo on your body wants to make some money. So Logan,
that's funny.
he's 18, but he's kind of shy. So I'm sure the guy's like, oh, this is a great saying. What it's this saying like, lambs will turn into lions. I mean, it's a pretty good saying.
It's not bad. I mean, for all the tattoos he could have gotten,
no, it's a paragraph.
It's not a bad tattoo. It's a good tattoo.
At least Megan Ton just got it backwards so that when you look in the mirror, you can read it. Like, it's not even backwards. Like, he can't even read it. Well, it's like he has to go like get a mirror to hold it up.
Well, then if anybody sees it, they'll be like, "What the heck is on your ribs?"
Yeah, it's not.
Then they won't be able to read it.
It's something you have to like read. It's like, can you hold still while I read the paragraph on your ribs?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, hold on, save my spot. I'm gonna put a bookmark and come back to this tattoo later.
Shay has a very strong opinion about tattoos. That's all. But don't judge him. He just doesn't want a tattoo.
And I also want to know how many of you have been peer pressured into tattoos. Maybe you're drunk.
And how many of you have a tattoo
Let's get
that
tattoos!
you love more than anything and that you would never ever regret?
And maybe I'm offending you right now because there's a tattoo that you're like, every
there
day
might be.
you look at it, you love
and maybe
it.
you have a tattoo of a picture of your mom's dead face on there, and that's cool. I'm totally fine with that. Just saying. That might get awkward
Does anybody
in
in
some
there have
situations.
tattoos? Ricky, do you have a tattoo?
We all do.
You all have tattoos?
He's got a sweet one.
Do you?
And does any of you regret it?
Do any of you don't regret your tattoo at all? Okay. Are you offended by my tattoo talk?
No.
Anybody offended? Rob, you're
I've
offended?
talked to many people that regret their tattoos, but I've also talked to many that have tattoos that they love them.
That's the only thing I'm trying to say is if you love your tattoo and you're happy with it, then I'm cool with it. My buddy Charles Trippy, he has a lot of tattoos. I like his strung out tattoo. I think it's a great tattoo.
My sister has a seahorse right here. She's a horse trainer and she has a seahorse. And everybody's always like, why a seahorse? But she loves it.
That's the only thing I'm saying.
Has loved it.
Don't do something you're going to regret later. And don't do something that's going to cause a laser to shoot at you if you do regret that thing. That's all I'm trying to say. If you want a tattoo, another thing, do not get a tattoo of my face or my name on your body.
Please.
But there are some people who have, and
That's
for those
just
people,
weird.
I love you.
I wouldn't even do that.
You wouldn't?
No.
You don't love me enough
Don't
to tattoo?
ever ask me to get a tattoo of you.
Honestly, you wouldn't get a tattoo of my name on your body?
Well, if I ever got a tattoo, that would be it, probably.
Where at?
But I'm not getting a tattoo.
Where at on your body?
Ain't telling.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. We're going to go get tattoos. Thanks for watching. Download the link below, free, iTunes, when the kids go to sleep.
Oh, we love you guys.
It's like, would you graffiti the Statue of David?
Right, yeah, the Statue of David. Would you like, you know what? The Statue of David needs a shirt. I'm going to Billabong.